Greetings and salutations! This is Jason Silverain, and I want to introduce you to One Deck Dungeon, a game that I am relatively unsure about. I really can't decide if I like or hate this game. There's so much to like, but there's also so much to hate. It has an illusion of choice, and is a little too random for my liking, but I'll want to show it to you guys and see what you think. First of all, this was released in 2018. It's based on an actual card game, dice game, board game, shall we say. And it's developed and published by
Handelabra Games Incorporated.
Hopefully you could hear Peter there. I am not attempting to pronounce that whatsoever. I have tried for the last 10 minutes to try and get my tongue around that, and I just cannot. Now, first of all, I bought this game on sale. It was about £3. For that price, it's well worth it. At its current price, £7.19, I would say no. It's got £17.12 worth of DLC, and let me show you. First of all the characters are female. That's kind of cool. There's also a progression thing which you can turn on and off, so as you play the game more and more, you can unlock like abilities for your characters. But you've got these characters, and I thought, oh what? Only 5 characters? No, there's another one who's a special character from another game. And then, all of these are DLC. All these characters, purchased them independently. They're all like 70 odd pence, but it adds up. And I'm like, half of these should have been just default. I mean, it's not like any of the classes have anything particularly special about them. They all have a set of dice and health. This is stuff you can unlock, and they all have a heroic feat and a special ability. However, that's only if you go solo. If you go into the dungeon as a pair, you lose your special ability, but to be honest, the game is a lot more fair and balanced when you go as a pair because you roll both sets of dice for the characters. So, looking at the Archer, I've seen complaints that the Archer is very underpowered and is not very good. Their special ability, you have to spend time, which is essentially turns, to gain extra dice, and that actually harms you a lot. And you can't use these special abilities when you get down to the boss. Whereas if you have someone like the Mage, every time you explore an area, which you do automatically every time you go down a floor, you get a spare dice you can just use. Or if you flee, so you can build that up. The Warriors, you have to get injured. And I should point out the dice are broken down into might, agility, and magic. And each character has loads of like different health or different abilities. The Paladin is probably the best all-rounder, because whenever you come across a big old boss, you can store up to 2 dice. And the Rogue's also a favourite. I find Rogue and Paladin are a good combination. Mage and Warrior, poor old Archer gets no love. And likewise, up here, oh look, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. Now, that would actually be nice if it wasn't for the fact that all the cards are shared across the levels. The bosses are different, there's different effects from each dungeon that add on as you get further into it, but overall, it's very repetitive. So, all this, just, too much DLC. Too much DLC that should be in the base game. It feels like I'm being ripped off whenever I play. Also, the explanation on how to play is mostly in text, and there's lots of references, and it was a bit of a slog to get through. It's actually a relatively simple game. There is also a tutorial you can play through, which sets everything up nicely. But you have issues where it all comes down to random dice rolls. You can have a perfect build, and you will still lose, because the dice will screw you utterly, and that's what's so frustrating. Now, I'm just going to go into the options. You can turn off most of the animations. I would advise turning off the Explore animation. It takes ages. It just drags out the game. That's the problem. There's so much in this that just makes the game feel slow and dragged out. Now, I've put all the confirmations on as well. Well, I'm just going to go into a new game. We're going to go with Warrior and Mage, because they synergize quite nicely. I could go solo, but I'll lose really quickly. And I'm just going to go with the Dragon's Cave. That is the beginning level. It's the only one I've managed to complete so far. It did take quite a lot. Now, initially you would start off with no bonuses. The Mage, I have selected an ability that says Basic Skill. You start with a extra skill, which is quite handy. I've gone with Ingenuity because that just helps you get past traps. The combination between these two, their main downfall are traps. And likewise with the Warrior, I've selected to have the Guile ability. It lets you change your Might dice into a Agility dice of the same value, which for the Warrior is amazing. And I found that's been very handy in solving the issue when I've not had many Agility dice. So we start the game. This particular level, the Dragon's Cave, knocks off time from your total time every time you start a floor. And as you go down, each area adds these effects. So all the traps gain a 2 shield. Essentially you have to fill in these shield spots with your dice before you can do any of the others. So it's essentially like armor. And if you fail to fill in this free, it does health damage, or a single point of health damage to you. So we'll explore. Yeah, the removing that torch animation saves a surprising amount of time. Now you can see I've got my black dice. This allows you to put it in any of the slots. It's essentially a free dice. So we start with Plague Rat, possibly the worst thing I could have started with. Because I don't have enough purple dice, except for Guile, so it's a bit risky. And the potential loot I can have is experience points. I can have a piece of equipment, that means they roll an extra dice, or I can have this where I put, as a skill, which if I put 2 on one of these dice, into that comes out of 5. Now that's okay, but not amazing. I'll do it for the fight anyway, and if I lose this fight, this is what the consequences are. Every time I remove one of these boxes, it removes a consequence. So I'm going to skip the heroic feat. You are going to roll the dice. And all that magic is useless. There's no blue slots, but that 5 is very useful. And likewise, what do we get here? And a whole bag of uselessness, because those ones are garbage. Now, first thing I'm going to do is the Mage has a special ability. Your partner gains either a 1 or a on the attack, or a 1 on the agility. So what am I going to do? Well, I want to go put that in this. That would be very handy in there. So we're going to stick this 5 in there. These big ones you can put multiple dice in. But the small ones you can only put a single dice in. And as you can see, I already have an issue. I don't have enough dice. And I'm already going to take... well, I use this Warrior's Fearless Charge ability, or skill, to ignore one of those consequences, but someone's going to have to take a heart of damage at this rate. Because what you can do with these is... if I just demonstrate, you can trade any 2 for a black dice. So we can fill that in. And then sadly we're stuck with this. Now I can't... you can only trade in... well, you can trade in any 2 dice, but it always takes the lower number. So if I put this like 5 in here and put 2 in there, we'll get a black 2. As you can see, not very useful. And this is when low numbers utterly screw you unless you have particular skills. So we end an encounter. The Warrior takes a point of damage, but that's alright because the Warrior gains bonus dice from the damage. And I'm just going to go for the experience points. So of our remaining 4 cards, I can either explore, which is a bit pointless right now. We'll go for another door. And here we go. Straight into hard mode, because it doesn't matter what floor you're on, what dungeon you're in. This game has a random deck of cards, and there is no way of knowing what you're going to get. You could be utterly screwed from the start by getting all the hardest cards at the top of the pile, and you can't beat any of them, so you have to take damage. Now this guy's just awful. He's awful for the party because we don't have enough agility. He's awful for the party because you re-roll discard all 1s and 3s. So despite the fact he's got very good loot, we'll be running away. Likewise, the Rogue. Absolute garbage for this party. Have to run away. And as you see, my time's ticking down. And what do we get here? Absolute garbage again. And you can see why this game ticks me off sometimes. It's a fun game, but this utterly screws you. There is nothing you can do to stop this. And we are going to just... You know what? Screw it. I'm going on a suicide run here. We're going to use the heroic dice here. Come on, 6. Oh, yes, we might actually be able to do this now. And you are going to roll the black dice, because you have this, and that would be very handy. And what do you get? You get a 2. Because if you get a 1, it's utterly pointless. So that 2 goes there. That's the shield dice. So now we can add up towards this. And we got lucky on the dice. If we didn't have this 6, we would have been screwed. I don't even need to use the skill. Because Guile can only be used in combat, as you can see with the little cross swords. Something Fearless Charge can be used in combat. And certain skills like this can only be used in traps. Not really great loot. But right now, I think we're going to give the mage a small little bit of agility. And we're going to go back to the rogues. And what the hell? We're going to use these stored black dice. And we have been very lucky with those black dice. Incredibly lucky, in fact. Insanely lucky! However, the yellow dice, not so much. That's utterly screwed me for that. So I'm going to have to use you in there. You in there. You can go over there. You can get converted into... Come on. Fine. There we go. Convert that into an agility dice. We put you in there. We put you in there. Because, as you can see, the bandit's special ability dodge means you have to use 3 dice instead of 2 to make a thing. Oh, I've not got enough, have I? There we go. I was about to click end encounter there. So, backstab. Now that synergizes incredibly well with power transfer. As I send over a single agility dice, my warrior gains 2 more punchy dice. However, that uses both of their skill slots. And we go for another exploration. Thankfully, that only counts as 1 move. Because so this is to stop you from constantly going, no, I don't like these cards, draw another one. The more slots you have free, it only uses a single action to fill those in. And this is pretty much the mechanics of the game. More rats. That one's actually been a lifesaver, but I don't have the slots for it. But I'll kill them for the XP. We'll see how we get along with this. We'll skip the heroic feat. You will roll the black dice. And the dice have been very kind. Incredibly kind today. So we're going to go bam. We're also going to go over here and throw those in there. Throw that in there. And now we can put these in actual useful places. So I don't take any damage. It's another rat dead. I didn't even have to use the skills. Very nice. XP, please. Because we want because when you go up a level, you gain an extra black dice and you gain an extra item and skill slot. Goblins! I'm actually getting weak mobs now. Relatively weak mobs, should I say. I could really do with some more dice. And we'll roll here. All these 6s in the... yeah, there we go. That is the kind of roll you end up with sometimes. Something that should be relatively easy to beat utterly destroys you because you just can't do anything about it. And it's not like transforming these into another colour will actually help in any fashion. So we're just going to throw those into there. This is going to get thrown into here. Because there's absolutely no point in keeping it. I don't believe there's... I don't think there's anything that we can actually do with it. Can't do anything with that 2. Can't do anything with this 2. So we'll just throw those in there. And we still have the problem of not enough stuff. And there's absolutely nothing else we can really do with those. So we're going to take some damage. We're absolutely guaranteed to take some damage now. Awesome. And some time loss. So I'm going to use this. Nothing we can do about it. Oh well. Dice decide they just hate you. You take another point of damage. Now, potions are interesting. You don't start with many. You can heal, as it says, heal 3 at the start of a turn, essentially when you're out of combat, or if you're in combat, you heal 2. This is why I'm sort of just building up the damage. Shimmer Brass, absolutely useless. Could get more XP or I could get another dice. Considering the rolls so far, we're going to go with dice. You can always trade in your items for more XP as well if you get better items, which is good. What's our last door here? The skeleton needs a bit of everything. Again, I'm going for the suicide run. I'm just doing this. So, since we're going to be exploring, we'll use yours. It's a 4. That could be useful. I'm going to skip yours. And we're just going to pray we get a 6 on that dice. Excellent. We have a 6 on the dice. Now just don't roll all ones. Thank you. You were semi-competent today. Except... oh no, we do have a 5 here. And I would complain that we've got... yeah, you can't do anything when it's just one off. You can get certain powers that add more... or like add 1 to several dice or something like that. It's all about the random skills, but you can be caught in a sort of loop of either I don't have enough XP, so what's this? Reroll. That's pretty good. But the healing potions just... you just need the healing potions. There's no point in me grabbing any other potion. As much as I'd like that, potions are so rare that you need them for healing. Oh, extra dice or... I'll go for the skills. The dice could be handy, but 4 dice in something, 5 is usually ideal, and I'll be getting better things later. Oh, big old sigh there. I can't use these out of combat, otherwise it'd be brilliant. So what I'm gonna have to either really, really hope I get a pair of 6s, or we just take the time. Yeah, we're just going to dismantle it. We're not going to use the heroic feats. You are going to roll the black dice, because otherwise you add nothing to this roll, and you can't use ingenuity on your other side's dice. So we use that. That goes up to a 3. Woo! And very easy, but we are forced to take 2 time as a penalty. And XP, I think. Now, I would normally grab the extra equipment, but we want the XP because that gives us another potion. It means we can get more skills. It's all very handy. Oh, no, we're just leaving. Oh, then again, this could be doable. It'd be difficult, but it's doable. Static burst is really, really handy. It's really, really handy, but at the same time, it's also not that great. It's hard to decide, really. Oh, I'm very tempted to do it for the XP as well. It's just that magic. Yes, we're going to go for it. We are going to go for it. We're going to use her dice, because there's absolutely no point storing it. Well, that's utterly useless. And you're going to roll the black dice here. See what you get. Excellent. And excellent. I can't complain about that. I'm sure I could find a way, but I'm not going to. I'd like to change that to a... that, and... we have 10 here. We've got that 5 covered. We've got that 3 covered. We've got that 5 covered. We've got that 4 covered. And then the black dice can go over the 3. That is usually quite a difficult boss. Not quite so difficult as some of the others that crop up, but still not one you really want to appear early. And I think I'm going to go with Static Burst on the mage, because that actually might make her more useful in on the melee enemies. Now at this point, you can stay on this floor, but for every 2 hearts that stack up on this, your characters take damage, so you might as well descend. So we go down, and now all the enemies gain this. And this. And this is where the difficulty stacks up, because different dungeons, add different effects to enemies. And you need gradually more and more dice. Oh, not again. See, this is what I want. The one that adds health and an ability, but no, we're not dealing with him. I simply can't in this build. This chap, however, is doable. It would have been better to see him on the first floor, however. What's that? Pick a value and change 5 of your dice of that value to 6s. That's crazy! That's awesome. But I would probably be going for this. The item. Okay, this is going to be hard. I mean, it's doable. Oh. Do I trust 3 of these to actually roll a 5 or a 6? I'm going to skip the heroic feat. I'm going to probably regret it, but I'll skip it. So we roll. Please get a 5. No, you're useless. How about you? You're not so useless. Now we get the power transfer. So we want a number 1 of these. We feed that to backstab. That gets us 2 more of these. And that's much better. That instantly pays for this. And we pay for that. And wouldn't you just know it? We are just off. Which is a bit of a kick in the nuts. Because, well, we can get that. Yeah, we're just going to take a lot of damage here. Because, well, nothing you can do really, is there? Now, the alternative here is I take the 4 off of this, I take the 4 and feed it into Static Burst, and I increase this to a 5. Excellent! And that minimises the damage quite considerably. And then I use Fearless Charge to knock off the time consequence, but I still have to take a health damage. It's not ideal, but now she's got 3, it's worth using a potion. The skill's nice, the XP's nice, but the item is so much better. Rush through or Magic Shield. Magic Shield only uses 1 time, but we only have 3 dice of that. But then again, we only have 3 dice of the other one. You gotta remember, I can't use any of these skills in... Well, I can use next to none of these skills in traps, so we're just gonna leave. If it was a rogue, I'd be... Oh, for... Bah! Bah! I say. Ah. See, that was a massive waste of time. And that, however, is not. I need that. This is a game changer. At least in the end game. So if you can roll a 5 and a 4. Oh, 1 job. 1 job, damn it, mage. Seriously, my fighter carries my mage through the dungeon every single time. Oh, and we've just got... Actually, I'm going to take that off of that, because paying extra is a waste. Especially when I can do this. When I can Do this. There we go, thank you. And use that to pay off this. I got those the wrong way round. I was not paying attention. There we go. I didn't even have to cheese it. Excellent, we want cleave. We'll be keeping that, and that is the fighter with a very deadly combination. Which makes me brave enough to face this person. And I probably will use both dice here. Because you just know I'm going to roll lots of 1s and 3s. Yeah, that's gone. That's just gone. Om nom nom, got eaten. That one did... Oh no, that was I say that one didn't vanish. No, I spoke too soon. And of course the blues were utterly useless. Every time I rely on the magic, and magic always fails me. So bam. Come on. Oh, I've got this 4 here. Bam. Bam. Wham. Splat. Oh, well. I'll take one of those, please. And I will feed it into there. And please get a 5. Oh, fine. We will feed that into cleave, and I will knock those up. Oh my gosh, cleave just saved me. See, once you get going, you can get really good synergies, but a lot of the time, no. Now, all of these are pretty good. Steady hands means I've actually got a chance at defeating traps. That is really handy, and the extra health is just the icing on the cake. So is that 4 XP. I'm going to add that to the mage, because we're just stuck with these traps. So we're going to go for magic, because none of this works with traps, and that's a good roll. I mean, it's not the best roll. It'd be very handy if one of those was a 6, but never mind. That's what we have this for. And this is why I always have this skill now. Because the amount of times you will take damage because you needed to roll a 6 in this game is ridiculous. And again, as you can see here, it's just too much R&D. If you've got the skills, and you've learned what skills synergize well, that's really handy. But it all comes down to what comes up, whether or not the game just absolutely destroys you in those early floors with just giving you tons of enemies that you can't beat, or traps you can't beat without taking loads of damage. Oh, I'm just going to have to descend. I'm out of time. I am not going to be able to beat the boss. And as you can see, the game is getting harder. I've not had enough luck with getting good dice. I've had lots of skills, but not enough dice. So I lack the raw rolling power I need. It's going to have to be climb around. Armor Crusher's amazing. That's another skill I really like, but Cleaver's theoretically better. Right, we're going to climb round. And we're going to skip the heroic feat. You're going to roll the dice here. Oh, that's not good. That's good, though. And then we steady hands to get another dice. That's even better. Oh, no, that's not what I clicked. This is what I clicked. That automatically knocks that up. And as you can see, job's a good one. Oops. We climb around the pit. We still take the free consequences of this, because you have to automatically by picking this option. But we get the either the dice or the... I want the XP, but I think an extra point of magic is going to be absolutely vital. I would really like another point of flimming agility, because the boss requires agility for the dragon. I like how Bash it opens the supposed way to do it. Yeah, we're just going to go for it. Bash it open. We're going to skip the heroic feat. You're going to roll both of those. You should have enough dice power to act. One job. One job. Alright. Okay, what did... And you're off. Oh my god. No, no, I take loads of damage. I take absolute mountains of damage. And there was absolutely nothing I could have done to prevent that. You'll automatically take a potion because I forgot to take one earlier. Oh, no, no. You were going to take another magic. And we're going to drink a potion. But see what I mean? I had the dice pool that on average that should have worked. But RNG says no. And there is nothing you can do. And I'm sorry I keep pointing this, but this is the kicker that makes this game frustrating. Okay, we're going to blast on through. We're going to use a heroic feat, because there's absolutely no point us keeping them at this point. Because you can't take them to the boss, which I think is a bit suck. I used the wrong person there. Oh well. That's fine. If these are bad rolls, then we're screwed anyway, and you get steady hands. We're screwed anyway. Okay, we use this. We're going to knock that up to a 5. So, 2 goes there. Oh, no, no, we want the 6 there and the 5 here. No sense of wasting our precious points. And we just make it. If we hadn't used those 2 extra dice, we would have failed. And that's with 5 blue dice. It's just, as you can see, the game gets more difficult the further in you get. So, Mage, you are going to have that. You are going to replace this dice. That also gives us the XP for it. We're going to get one of those dice back. We've got enough time to check out one last door. It's not a great one for us. I mean, there's not really anything here of use. But we're going to go for it anyway because we do not have time not to. So we're going to enter. We're going to disenchant. We're going to use this because this will be the last time we'll actually get to use this. You will roll the black dice. You will roll 1s, I know. Nope, nope, nope. We've actually got a good bit of fortune here. Excellent. And just to make sure, we'll make that a 5. Now, I think I'd be a lot more forgiving of this game if, first of all, it wasn't absolutely chock-a-blocking DLC up to the eyeballs, and the base game had more of it. There we go, Warrior, you can have a touch of magic. And we are then going to descend. Also, if the different dungeons had different collections of cards, I found myself completely disappointed by the fact that there was no change of mobs. There was just nothing that made each dungeon unique other than the special effects, and I'll be honest, those just made it annoying. Drink potion for the mage. So I've got 1 potion left. And how you beat the boss is, we've got to roll 6s. And every time we get one of these skulls, it does a damage to the boss. The boss, I think, has 6 health. Yes, there we go. So we don't use a potion. You're going to roll that. These now become useless. So we need a 6. Oh my god, magic comes in harsh. And then we need at least a 5 here. Excellent. Absolutely excellent for the for this at least. I'm going to use the 6 here. Because we can't use the 6s on these. As it explains, the black dice cannot be placed on these boxes, so we might as well use it to get past the defences. Then we can use the remaining 6 for this. This makes this a bit useless, but oh well. Right, use the skill. We're going to have a one of those. so then we can change it to backstab. Oh, another one. But that's fine, we can spend the ones on cleave. Which lets us add this, 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 and this. 4 dice, all go up by 1. Cleave's amazing. One of the best skills. Go. Now, if there's any other way, I could... Guile's no use here. It's only good in emergency if I can't get through the defences, because if you can't get past these 2, the rest of it just stacks up and it'll wipe you in 1 turn. Of course, Fearless Charge becomes pointless here as well. So, here we go. We're doing all the damage to the boss. Now we just have to make sure we don't take damage. Ooh, that was too close for comfort. I don't think we're going to get through on, however, on this side. Too many ones. Nothing we could do about it, sadly. We could do something there? No, we can't expend the... No, we haven't got enough spare magic. That's an absolute bugger. And even if we trade these in... Yeah, we can't do anything with it. Sadly, we're going to take 4 health, or 2 health each. This is another reason why you do this with 2 characters, is you have extra health. Otherwise, you'd be doing this whole boss thing solo. I've only done that with the Paladin and the Rogue so far. I have not managed to solo it with any other character. And that was after I'd gained them several abilities first. So first things first, we drink the potion on the warrior. Normally I'd have like 6 health each for these guys, but I've had terrible, terrible luck when it comes to the actually gaining dice. Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad. Yeah, that's horrendous. Okay. That is absolutely horrendous. Need 5s. And this run is over. It has just been killed. It has been killed, dead in its tracks. Unless Cleave saves me here. I know, I think it's dead in its tracks anyway. Because I can exchange 1 for Guile. Come on. Can I change multiple dice? No, I can only change 1. So now we can pay that off. And then what I have to do is sacrifice these 2. There we go. To get a black dice. Pay that off. But what I can do here is gain that. Increase this to a 6. So we can at least cover this. And after that, we're a bit stuffed, in all honesty. And all it took was 1 bad roll, having, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice, not a single one coming up a 5. And the game just goes, yeah, you lose, you die, game over, sir. Now, might just be able to claw this back. Yeah, that one's in there properly now. Oh, this is bad. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. I don't think we can survive it. Yep, the mage dies. Game over. And that is a run. And that is on novice difficulty. And that just goes to show the ups and downs of this game. It's very quick. You can get into it. There's a nice way you can actually improve your characters and just keep getting better. But at the same time, the lack of control, the fact it's all RNG, and that just happens. It's just a case of, well, you may have had a good build. Doesn't matter. You're dead now. And there's nothing you could have done. So thank you for sticking with me through this, even if I've been a bit of a downer and negative on it. I mean, the music's nice, the character design's nice. It would be nice to have, like, both genders of characters. I don't mind. I kind of like the fact there's lots of, like, female characters in proper flumming armour. And that makes sense as well. I really like kind of the warrior's design, like leather armour, but heavily armoured 1 arm, which is the arm she's putting forward for defence, and trying to keep her sword arm light. And I mean, the card designs are nice, but it's just frustrating and too expensive. And I'll catch you next time.